Hi everyone, welcome to On the Money. I'm Michelle Lee. We are all about bringing you the latest stories about money in Missouri and Illinois from this week, from ways to save money and spend money, and of course taking a look at our biggest money issues from our largest businesses. So let's jump into our top story of the week. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates by a half percentage point while more people applied for mortgages. Now, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, applications actually shot up more than 14% last week all across the country. Applications to refinance a home also went up 24%. This also comes at a time when current homeowners are dealing with an insurance crisis as hurricane and wildfire season arrives. Lee Waldman reports why so many homeowners are underinsured.
As Hurricane Francine slams the Gulf Coast and wildfires rage in the West, 26% of homeowners surveyed by Bankrate say they are not financially ready for a natural disaster.
A lot of insurance companies are starting to exclude certain perils that we're used to having covered.
Shannon Martin, a Bankrate analyst who specializes in insurance, says homeowners in the South and West are most likely to feel unprepared to shoulder the financial burden of extreme weather.
Those homeowners feel a little bit more unprepared because they know kind of what they're heading into.
And while the majority of homeowners surveyed do have insurance, they do not necessarily know if they have adequate coverage.
What type of repairs and updates do we need to make to this home to make it more insurable? Invest in upgrading your roof. If you live somewhere, where there's wildfire, it really can be as simple as making sure the area around your home is free of debris, free of trees and shrubbery that can catch fire easily.
Martin says to pair that information with the realistic extreme weather threats facing your neighborhood today and in the future.
I would suggest going online to an online tool like riskfactor.com or climatecheck.com. Put in either your current address or the address you're thinking of purchasing, and it'll forecast what the next 30 years of extreme weather events will look like in that area.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
And right now, new census data shows the insurance crisis in Missouri and Illinois. Missouri is about on track with the national average. More than 13% of Missourians do not have good home insurance. Illinois does have at least better numbers than the national average, with nearly 11% without it. But the worst is in West Virginia, New Mexico, and in the South. St. Louis employees at Boeing have now received furlough notices. Our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal report that white-collar employees received these notices. Boeing officials didn't say how many people would be impacted by the furloughs or when they would begin, but the measure comes after workers went on strike last Friday. The battle for better pay and working conditions for local Amazon workers continues this weekend. On Wednesday, employees hit the picket lines outside the Amazon Fulfillment Center in St. Peters. They're demanding $24 an hour as well as safer work conditions. Some employees tell us they've been denied workers' comp for injuries on the job, and the company reportedly did nothing to fix safety concerns.
It was safety issues that I had already reported to safety multiple times that went ignored. So I was injured on the very things I reported to safety as a concern for me.
We are always getting a repossession notice for the car, always having to decide between rent or 2 car payments because we're behind, always having to decide who to pay late so we can pay this one on time. It's just awful.
We've reached out to Amazon for a response but haven't heard back yet. But in the past, Amazon has said it is doing enough for its employees. In the meantime, in our Career Central, the city of St. Louis needs to fill more than 100 open positions, everything from refuse drivers to security officers and 911 operators. Now, these jobs come with benefits and paid family leave. The city recently raised employee pay as well, and you don't have to be a city resident to apply. The city of St. Louis is also looking to hire utility workers for immediate openings. Now, you'd work at the City Justice Center downtown. These are full-time, permanent roles with salaries ranging up to $52,000. Responsibilities include things like landscaping, facility maintenance, and operating machinery and tools. And then if you're looking for a career in healthcare, Affinia Healthcare is hiring right now. Immediate openings are available in clinical and non-clinical roles. These jobs come with a competitive compensation package, including some student loan forgiveness, paid time off, and much more. There are also sign-on bonuses for RNs and LPNs. We are following the money for small businesses in St. Louis. Many say they applied for American Rescue Plan Act dollars, but were left out. Mark Maxwell takes a look at what's next for business owners who are trying to make ends meet.
Business owners who survived the pandemic can only look back now and laugh.
It was horrible. The pandemic was horrible.
We met Tamika Steigers in her North City salon where she hopes to expand.
So we bottle and label and everything in here.
She applied with the city hoping for a cash infusion from federal grant funds.
The bill was passed to help small businesses, small nonprofits, be able to bounce back from COVID. It's COVID relief money. It was emergency money.
When her application was rejected, she started asking questions.
I see a lot of things that don't make sense.
One grant worth $1.5 million went to Sweetie Pies, a business that closed 2 years ago, but this time at a new address, 4901 Delmar. When we knocked on the door,
we were told that it was a mistake. That money should not have been attributed to this address, and it had nothing to do with us.
The man inside said the city told him it was a clerical error.
There's a short window to get this right, so I'm frustrated, I'm confused.
Kevin Bryant with Kingsway Development said the city runs the risk of squandering a rare chance to spark a comeback.
It's once in a lifetime money. For projects north of Delmar, we may never see this amount of investment again. So we were glad to see that 30+ million was allocated for north of Delmar. We just hope and pray that it's allocated in the right projects.
No one showed up to my business to vet my business.
And others who did win had political connections. Former Mayor Freeman Bosley Jr.'s bar won $100 grand.
There's former politicians all throughout that list.
A few blocks away, signs of investment are starting to show up in North St. Louis.
This is the first of its kind in 30 years over here in this neighborhood.
This nonprofit won $1.5 million to break ground here and bring hope to a part of town where that's in high demand and short supply.
We know we got here. The same thing that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Same thing that happened in East St. Louis, Kinloch, Missouri as well. You know, people coming in taking advantage of it, then they leave. You know, just so. And this is what we have. This is the after effect of it.
Just down the block, another address in line for $17 grand, but that could be on hold.
The St. Louis Development Corporation has paused payment of all these grants to go over with a fine-tooth comb and inspect the sites to make sure the people who won the money actually deserve it. One of the things they're doing is going to each location. This is supposed to be, according to those government records, a beauty supply shop. When we arrived on scene, we found an empty lot. When we hit that dead end, we dug deeper into the business records underneath that beauty shop, and it led us to a residential address just about a block from here. The family inside told us, wait, the address is wrong, it's just a block farther down, 5879, the 22nd Ward headquarters, where former Alderman Jeffrey Boyd used to work before he went to prison on corruption charges.
The same way it would make you feel, or any other taxpayer, you know.
The public trust is gone in our leadership. It's gone because we don't believe you. We don't believe you're going to do what you say you're going to do with the funds.
Reporting in St. Louis, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
In the meantime, a major recall of apple juice is now expanding to include more brands. Last month, Walmart previously recalled 10,000 cases of its Great Value brand for harmful levels of arsenic, and now officials say other brands may have been contaminated. They include Nature's Nectar, sold at Aldi's, Walgreens' Nice brand, and Wesley Farm, sold at BJ Wholesale. You can find a full list of the affected products on ksdk.com. Now, before you make that banana bread or pumpkin pie, you should also know that one of the most popular fall spices could make your kids sick. Really sick. We're talking about cinnamon. So if you remember last year, lead and cinnamon used in those apple puree pouches caused more than 500 kids to get really sick. Schnucks even had to recall several pouches, which was troubling because it's a very popular snack for little kids. So parents, be on high alert if you are packing applesauce in your kids' school lunches. Right now, we're also going to be taking a closer look at which cinnamon brands are deemed safer to use and which ones you might want to avoid according to Consumer Reports. So most of the ones to avoid are found at specialty or ethnic stores like Zara and Mimi's. It has high lead levels, enough for a recall. But here's a list of brands that are okay to buy. Happy Belly is Amazon's brand, Kirkland is Costco, Great Value is Walmart, Trader Joe's brand, and then Good and Gather from Target. But let's arm you with some really great cinnamons to buy, according to Consumer Reports. The organic option at Whole Foods has some of the lowest levels of lead in it, but remember, most organic products do cost a little bit more. Now, from what you eat to keeping your teeth healthy, dentists say Americans are not flossing regularly, but Even floss could be potentially harmful. A Consumer Reports investigation discovered chemicals could be in some of the more popular floss brands.
Even if we don't follow it, we all know the advice from dentists.
Flossing is the game changer. Flossing makes a huge amount of difference in the mouth.
That advice isn't changing, but the findings from a new Consumer Reports analysis of what's in your dental floss might have you thinking twice about the type of floss you're using.
Some dental flosses use PFAS chemicals for a smoother glide. However, these forever chemicals have been linked to various health problems and environmental concerns. Some flosses also contain undisclosed flavors and are made of plastic.
CR and MadeSafe, a nonprofit focused on product safety and sustainability, recently analyzed ingredients in a variety of flosses. 10 flosses either failed to disclose their ingredients contain PFAS or included other components linked to health concerns, posing higher risks to consumers. 3 flosses stood out as favorites because they contained safer and more sustainable ingredients. While companies aren't required to disclose all ingredients in dental floss, Tom's of Maine, Dental Lace, Cocoa Floss, and Nudge provided CR with complete ingredient lists and confirmed they don't intentionally add PFAS to their products. Procter & Gamble, makers of Oral-B Glide, confirmed that their floss contains PTFE, citing its performance benefits. However, they maintain it's safe and free of certain phased-out PFAS. The Humble Company provided partial information confirming PFAS-free status, but giving incomplete flavor details. The other companies did not respond to our inquiries and did not provide answers to CR's questions. And for people who hate flossing with string, how about a water flosser?
Water flossers like Waterpik work well for removing food debris, and although they may not be quite as effective as string floss at scraping away bacteria, they're a great option for people who dislike string floss or who find it difficult to use.
Remember, the best flossing method is the one you'll use regularly.
Consumer Reports recommends choosing flosses that are coated with natural substances like beeswax or plant-based waxes, and then look for floss made from biodegradable materials like silk or cotton that are either unflavored or flavored using disclosed natural ingredients. All right, well, right now, a Boar's Head plant in Virginia is shut down indefinitely. The measure comes after the facility produced meat that was linked to a deadly multi-state listeria outbreak. Dozens of people got sick from that outbreak. The recall was expanded to include 7 million pounds of meat, which the company said was in every single item produced at the facility. If you are a frequent shopper at the Belleville Schnucks location off Carlisle Avenue, you may want to listen up here because the grocer is recalling ground beef sold on Sunday. That recall includes 90-10 ground beef, lean ground beef, I should say, 80-20 ground beef and ground chuck, and 73-27 ground beef. The products were sold between 12:45 and 5:45 Sunday afternoon. You can return the recalled beef to the store for a full refund. Right now, Urban Chestnut is hoping to save its business in light of serious financial problems. The St. Louis Brewery and Pub says it plans to file for bankruptcy. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, Urban Chestnut cited financial pressures during the pandemic. The brewery is also facing 2 lawsuits now, alleging that it owes more than $400,000 in loans. Owners say they hope to reorganize the business with the help of an investor. New changes are coming to a downtown St. Louis restaurant. Whiskey on Washington is now implementing an age restriction. The measure comes after it reopened earlier this month at a new location across the street. And along with the change in location, its business model is going to have a whole different look as well. So instead of a bar, it's now a restaurant. And then after 9 p.m., only customers 30 years and older are welcomed inside. Your medical care here at home could be on the chopping block at Mercy. Mercy says starting in January, it will no longer be in network with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance unless both sides reach a deal. Mercy says our focus remains on safeguarding our patients and ensuring they receive the low-cost, high-quality care they deserve. Blue Cross is facing claims it is getting more complicated for patients and healthcare providers to navigate the insurance company's systems and to get care and compensation. Medical care abroad is another concern. If you're out of the country, Mike Bush is explaining what you can do to avoid big medical bills during international travel if you experience an unexpected health issue.
Sandra Gutierrez faced a health emergency while attending a destination wedding on a Greek island.
When I got to the hospital, I realized it was going to be bigger than what I initially thought.
She was diagnosed with leukemia and stayed in the hospital for weeks.
I didn't factor in like cancer treatment in another country. I didn't actually even know what my work insurance covered.
A 2022 survey found that nearly 1 in 4 Americans have faced health issues while traveling abroad.
All right, what's your name?
It can be difficult to get quick help from your health insurance back home, and your policy might not even cover you abroad.
Most U.S. insurers, including Medicare, offer little or no medical coverage outside of the country, which can lead to hefty medical bills if you need care.
To protect yourself, consider a travel medical insurance policy. These plans can cost less than $100 per trip, depending on the provider and what's covered. Just make sure to shop around. Websites like Insure My Trip and SquareMouth make it easy to compare different policies. Pick a provider with strong ratings with the Better Business Bureau, AM Best, a credit agency for insurance companies.
Before buying, check the policy for exclusions, deductibles, and coverage limits, and verify that the policy covers your pre-existing conditions and prescriptions.
It's also a good idea to have a policy that covers medical evacuation, especially if you're heading to remote areas with limited access to major hospitals. Sandra wanted to return to the U.S. right away after her diagnosis, but she says a medical transport from Greece would have cost her thousands of dollars out of pocket. Now she has this advice for travelers.
If you want the peace of mind and if you can't afford the insurance, get it. It will save you in the long run.
For Consumer Reports, Mike Bush, 5 on your side.
Right now is the sweet spot to book for holiday travel. You can still save a lot of money. Let's go to Google Flights because it's going to be one of your best resources, not only to save you money, but the top 10 destinations. Top 10 destinations for Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve and New Year's if you're looking for a place. I did a little extra digging here and found the cities that made both of these lists. So if you've got nowhere to go and you're looking for a place, how about Orlando, Cancun, Miami, or Las Vegas? Las Vegas, by the way, is a direct flight out of St. Louis, so that's going to save you even more money. And so let's plug this in to Google Flights and show you how this can save you money. Okay, you can go to Vegas from St. Louis for $341 or $534, depending on what airline you choose. But wait, there's more. If you hit this date grid on Google Flights, you can actually get a better picture of what's going to save you the most money. So let's say you're a little flexible. You could actually go to Vegas for $87. Google Flights and sites like it really are great tools if you're looking to buy a ticket for holiday travel. And if you're a little flexible, it could save you even more money. And while we're on the topic of saving money, here's something to keep in mind, at least in the back of your mind, because Amazon released its list of toys we love. And this year they are making it a lot easier for you to spend your money and to find toys for your budget with ideas starting at less than $10. So check it out here. Amazon says it wants to prove that toys don't have to be expensive to be big holiday hits. Games are a pretty big deal. Like the Pickleball Blast game for a little more than $10. Lots of Legos and stuffies, and then even theme toys from movies like Star Wars. Amazon's list is on the top of the store site page. Just look for look for the toys we love when you go shopping. Amazon, of course, is not the only company throwing early holiday deals your way. Walmart will have a deals event that will run from October 8th through the 13th. There will be deep discounts on electronics, home, fashion, and you named it, toys. Walmart is also going to lower the cost of its Thanksgiving meal and will offer it for a longer period of time, making us hungry. Right now, Americans want their baby back, and they want it with barbecue sauce. Chili's restaurants are winning back customers, and sales actually jumped nearly 15% in its fourth fiscal quarter, which is a pretty big deal since so many chains are struggling right now. Part of its comeback is thanks to some viral videos on TikTok of people ordering appetizers. They do it in this mukbang style, but the company says it's just been working to focus on value, simplifying its menu, and upgrading restaurants and technology. All right, that's going to do it for our top consumer stories of the week. Thanks so much for joining us for Michelle on the Money. We're going to see you again next weekend right here on the 5+ app.